everyone, welcome to Nalanda Advantage. This is part 2 of the series Cell in a Nutshell. In this class, we'll learn about plant cells, animal cells, different kind of cell organelles such as the plasma membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, nucleus, nuclear envelope, nucleolus. And at the last, we'll discuss about the important questions related to the topic. Let's quickly start with this. Now, in the previous class, we have learned about differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells, right? So for that difference, please watch the previous video. Now, the two types of eukaryotic cells, they are your animal cells and your plant cells. Your animal cells and the plant cells, they contain few cell organelles, the cell structure and the differences of what are different, how a cell can be defined. So we'll be learning about them one by one. The major differences between animal cell and plant cells is that your animal cells, they contain centrioles, whereas your plant cells, they are made up of cell wall and chloroplast. Right? Rest of the cell membrane, ribosomes, such as few organelles, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, vacuoles, mitochondria, and the cytoskeleton remain same in both the plant cell as well as the animal cell. We'll be learning about them one by one. Now let's quickly start with the cell organelles. Now in the picture you can see various kinds of cell organelles. Golgi, smooth ER, rough ER, ribosomes, nucleus, cell membrane. So the main question arises, what are cell organelles? Cell organelles are very small. In fact, they are microscopic. हमें microscope चाहिए होता है उनको देखने के लिए. They perform various functions for a cell. Such as your Golgi can help you transport, cell membrane can protect you and give the structure of the cell, lysosomes act as a suicidal bags, etc. They are found in cytoplasm. ये सबके सब एक cytoplasm में होते हैं. Now, what is a cytoplasm? It is given in the next slide. It may or may not be membrane bound. मतलब कि आपके cell walls के पास एक membrane हो सकती है या ये without membranes भी होते हैं. सेल और प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन की अगर हम बात करें, इट इज वन ऑफ द सेम थिंग. द सेल मेम्ब्रेन एक बायोलॉजिकल मेम्ब्रेन है जो कि सेल की इनसाइड स्ट्रक्चर को बाहर के आउटसाइड एनवायरनमेंट से प्रोटेक्ट करती है. जैसे कि हमारी स्किन, वो हमारे एक डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म एक्ट कर रही है हमारे लिए. सिमिलरली सेल के लिए उसकी जो इनर मोस्ट बाउंड्री है या फिर उसका अंदर का जितने सेल स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, जैसे कि यहाँ पे इनसाइड ऑफ द सेल आप देख सकते हैं साइटोप्लाज्म के अंदर, तो ये मेम्ब्रेन उसको बाहर से बचा रही है. सो दिस हियर पोर्शन इज द आउटसाइड ऑफ द सेल, दिस हियर इज द इनसाइड ऑफ द सेल, एंड हियर यू कैन सी दिस प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. नाउ दिस प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, एज यू कैन सी, इट्स कंसिस्ट ऑफ डबल लेयर. एक डबल लेयर होती है किसकी? फॉस्फोलिपिड्स और प्रोटीन्स की. फॉस्फोलिपिड्स, they are basically they are your lipids and made up of phosphorus. It surrounds outside of all cells, controls what enters or leaves the cells. It is a living layer. ये हमें ध्यान रखना है. It's a living layer. और सबसे पहले इसका स्ट्रक्चर दिया गया था. This structure is known as the fluid mosaic model. It is known as fluid mosaic model. It is given by Singer and Nicholson. S.J. Singer and J.L. Nicholson. They said that biological membranes can be considered as a 2D liquid in which lipids and protein molecules diffuse more or less easily. Right? So ये आपके phosphate lipids के बने होते हैं, known as phospholipids, and different kinds of proteins. So here you can see in this diagram there are protein channels, right? These protein channels, and there are different glycoproteins. They are known as carbohydrate chains. और ये lipid bilayer है. Bilayer से मतलब है कि इसमें दो layers attached हैं. Now coming down, the cell membrane is selectively permeable. ये हमें ध्यान रखना है, ये selectively permeable है. It's not like it will give or it allows each and every molecule to move in. नहीं, ये कुछ selectively molecules को सिर्फ अंदर आने जाने की permission देती है. और ये इसके वेराइटी ऑफ फंक्शन है. सबसे पहले तो एक बेसिक सेल, उसको स्ट्रक्चर, शेप देना और उसको प्रोटेक्ट करना, द मेजर फंक्शन है इसका. नंबर 2, ये बहुत सारे सेल प्रोसेसेस में इन्वॉल्व होती है, जैसे कि सेल एडिशन, आयन कंडक्टिविटी और सेल सिग्नलिंग में. ये अपने आप में बहुत डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ चैनल है, एक ट्रांसपोर्टिव मैकेनिज्म है या फिर आप कहें इंट्रैक्शन मैकेनिज्म है जिसमें सेल मेम्ब्रेन एक्ट करती है. नाउ यू कैन सी इन दिस डायग्राम, This are known as phospholipids. ये structure जो है एक तरीके से phospholipids है. It is made up of a head and the tails, right? Okay, made up of tails. Now, this head consists of your glycerol and phosphate, और ये हाइड्रोफिलिक होते हैं. हाइड्रो मीन्स वाटर, फिलिक मीन्स लविंग, किसी चीज के लिए उसकी तरफ अट्रैक्शन है. So it basically attracts water. The tail attracts water, the head attracts water, and the tail, because it is it is subdued between the two lipid layers, they are made up of fatty acids. The tails is made up of fatty acids and they are hydrophobic, right? So the tails, they are hydrophobic, they repel water, and together they make a bilayer in which tail point inwards. As you can see, tail is in between these two layers and the head is outside. It can move laterally to allow small molecules such as your oxygen, carbon dioxide and water to move in and out of it, right? So in this portion you can see the outer portion, this is your hydrophilic, that means it's water loving, and the innermost portion is hydrophobic, right? And together it composed of phospholipid bilayer, right? So this was all about your cell membrane. But in plant cell, majorly, and a few bacterial cell, you get cell wall also. It's a non-living layer. The major difference is cell wall and cell membrane. The cell membrane was living layer, whereas the cell wall is non-living layer. It is found in plants, fungi and bacteria. It is made up of cellulose in plants. Plants में ये cellulose की होती है, whereas bacteria में it is made up of peptidoglycan layer, right? And in fungi it is made up of chitin. एक few words हैं आपको याद रखने होंगे, just 1 mark questions. It supports and protects the cell. Similarly to cell membrane, इनका काम भी protection और support देना होता है. It is found outside of the cell membrane. As you can see here, this here is the cell wall. I hope it's clear to you. Now, हमने पढ़ा cell organelles, cell के basic parts में cell क्या होती है, एक अपना plasma membrane होगा, उसके अंदर cell organelles होंगे, but उन सबको protect करने के लिए it has to have some place where all these things reside. So basically that is your cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance enclosed by the cell membrane. So here all the pinkish part lying, in which all the organelles and various things are lying, there you can see here as your cytoplasm. It provides a medium for chemical reactions to take place, contains organelles to carry out specific jobs, as well as they are found in all the cells. Cytoplasm is found in all the cells. Basically एक तरीके से शॉकर का काम कर रही है, शॉक एब्जॉर्बर का काम कर रही है, जिसके अंदर आपके ऑर्गेनेल्स फिट होते हैं, जिसके अंदर आपके राइबोसोम्स रहते हैं, डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ सेल ऑर्गेनेल्स होते हैं, और यहाँ पे बहुत सारी ट्रांसपोर्ट का काम, डिफरेंट केमिकल रिएक्शंस का काम होता है. और मेजरली हमारा ट्रांसक्रिप्शन, अगर आप आगे पढ़ेंगे इसमें, हमारा रेप्लिकेशन का पार्ट और बहुत सारे सेल के इंपॉर्टेंट मशीनरीज यहाँ पे इन्वॉल्व होते हैं. Now, the next part is your nucleus. It is known as the control organelle. It controls the normal activities of the cell. It contains DNA in the chromosomes and it is bounded by a nuclear envelope. जैसे कि आपका cell membrane bound था, इसको प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए, similarly आपका nuclear जो है वो एक nuclear envelope से bound होता है. Each cell has a fixed number of chromosomes that carry genes and they control the cell characteristics. As you can see here, this is the microscopic diagram of the nucleus. You can see the nuclear envelope over here. Now here, you can see all these are your ER as well as some Golgi bodies. This is your different cell organelles, mitochondria, ribosomes attached to the ER. Now this purplish shade is your nucleus, right? And this part is Nucleolus. It consists of your nuclear envelope. We learn about it one by one. You can see here, this is the detailed structure over here. ER attached with some ribosomes known as your RER or rough endoplasmic reticulum. Nucleolus, chromatin fibers, nucleoplasm. Now nucleoplasm similar to cytoplasm, but it consists of your nucleus only. So basically it separates between cytoplasm and the nucleus, the layer, or it protects the nucleus. It has two nuclear pores so as to allow the things to move in and out, and it is protected by the nuclear envelope. Now this chromatin, as you can see here, these are the tiny condensed chromatin fibers. These chromatin fibers, they are named by Fleming, right? And when they are condensed, they are consisting of your DNA, and as well as DNA is bounded by histone proteins for its protection, right? Now important thing to note that RBC of a mammal such as our cells it does not contain any nucleus. As well as the sieve tube cells in vascular plants, they do not contain any nucleus. Now these are the chromatin fibers which have condensed to give rise to chromosomes. Now based on this position of the centromere, this what is called centromere, you can say that there are metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric and telocentric chromosomes over here. Now this is the centromere part. These are the two arms, short arm and the long arm, or sometimes known as P and Q arm also. And based on the structures, जैसे कि उसको centrioles pull up कर रहे हैं, and during the cell division ये part आपको और clear हो जाएगा. So these are the different kinds of chromosomes found based on the type of your position of the centromere. The nuclear envelope, it's a double membrane which surrounds the nucleus. It is also called as nuclear membrane. It contains nuclear pores, just now I have told, so that things can move in and out. And it is connected to rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is known as rough because it contains ribosomes. It contains ribosomes attached to it. What are ribosomes? Ribosomes are the machinery which helps in building up of the proteins. We'll learn about them in our next slides. Now, आपका सेल है, सेल के अंदर आपका क्रोमैटिन फाइबर्स है, ये कंटेंट्स के क्रोमोसोम्स बनते हैं, and these chromosomes, they are actually your DNA which contains your hereditary material of the cell. Whatever the blueprint you are seeing, it is your DNA. Your DNA is made up of sugar phosphate backbone and it is made up of 4 bases ATGC, where A is combined with T in the double bond and C and G is combined together with a triple bond. I'm sorry. Genes that make up the DNA molecule, they code for different proteins. Now these DNA, the genes, they are the segments of the DNA which encodes for the different kind of proteins which actually helps us for the machinery. हम जैसे काम करते हैं, हमारी machinery के लिए genes responsible होते हैं. So this was all about the nucleus. Similarly, your chromatin fibers condensed into chromosomes. Your DNA is appeared into chromatin in a non-dividing cells, whereas when it divides, they are condensed and wrapped around proteins. Which proteins? They are the histone proteins. They are known as chromosomes in the dividing cells. These cell division के time पे ये condensed होते हैं. Now, the nucleolus. Inside the nucleus, the cell may have 1 or 2, 3 nucleoli. They disappear when cell divides. Very important, and they make ribosomes that make protein. Right? So similarly, it's like a controlling structure of the nucleus. Right? So it contains all the important parts of the nucleus. Now, I hope this was clear to you. Let's quickly take a similar few questions based on the previous slide and this slide. Name an organism which contains single chromosome and cell division occurs through fission or budding. Single chromosome हमने बात किया था, so obviously the correct option is prokaryotes, right? Eukaryotes multicellular होते हैं, few bacteria, but because they're talking about all the organisms which contain single chromosome, so it is known as prokaryotes, right? Number 2. Name the outermost boundary of the cell. The outermost boundary of the cell is plasma membrane. It contains cytoplasm, nuclear membrane, right? Options are plasma membrane, cytoplasm or nuclear membrane or none of the above. So the correct option is plasma membrane. Question number 3. Blue-green algae is also known as, or they are also known as your cyanobacteria. And what are these cyanobacteria? They are prokaryotes, right? So they are prokaryotes. I hope it is clear to you. Any doubt, any confusion, feel free to comment, feel free to give us feedback, and I hope this video was useful to you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and we need your valuable feedbacks. Thank you so much.